when I hear the focus on the positive people, I almost lose the will to live. You know, what is more positive, for goodness sake, than getting involved to prevent our own enslavement? What is more empowering than to get involved to empower ourselves to prevent our own enslavement? I hear this, you know. I hear this stuff, we must focus on the positive. Okay, so what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to focus on the positive. What does that mean? Is it positive to sit there in a cross-legged position, doing nothing, saying it'll all go away, and waiting for the knock to come on the door saying, I've got your vaccine, it's your turn? Oh, and by the way, I've got a couple of heavies here in case you refuse. Is that focusing on the positive? You know what I'd say to those people? Grow up. Stop being a child and enter adulthood, because your denial, your escapism, because that's what it is in the end, you know. It's escapism. It's I have to persuade myself that I don't have to do anything here that I really don't want to do. Well, you do if you want to live in anything like a free world. And I'll say this to people who are focused on the positive. Tell your children and grandchildren that you focused on the positive when they realize that they are going to have to live in a world, and by then we'll be living in a world, if we don't put the brakes on fast, which makes today look like a free and open society. Because we've not reached the point of it yet. They want a global Orwellian state that would make Orwell wince. And tell your children and grandchildren who are going to have to live in that when you have gone that you focused on the positive. Grow up. We need to wake up fast. And more importantly, we need to grow up fast, okay? We need some courage here. We need people to open their eyes, open their minds, and not concede and freeze to fear. It can be frightening, what we're talking about here, but I tell you, it's more frightening when the knock comes on the door than if we start to get involved now. And we can start to make it much more difficult for that knock on the door to happen. Come on. Walk tall, walk straight, and look the world right in the eye. That's what my mama told me when I was about knee-high. And if we are infinite consciousness and we are expressions of the infinite one, then we should be looking each other in the eye. Oh yes, respect other aspects of consciousness for what they're doing, what they stand for, what they're expressing. Yes, good. But don't get a crick in the neck looking up, because you are them, they are you.
Blue shirts in the city. Southerners are getting out.
What we need to do is to just hold this understanding that we are infinite consciousness having an experience. We're not the experience. I'm not David Icke. David Icke's my experience. I'm infinite consciousness having an experience as David Icke. And when you come from that perspective, it helps you hold perspective on the experiences that we have instead of being pulled into them, so that you are the experience as well as having the experience, which means that you're pulled into a vibrational state where if it's an unpleasant experience and a stressful and fearful experience, well, then you're being pulled into the stadium in which the control system plays at home. And it's important that we hold this understanding, and it's a real challenge because all the five sense influences are telling us that you are David Icke, you were born in Leicester in 1952, and you are just one person, just Joe Public, you have no power. But if we can resist getting pulled into that, to realize that the reflection in the mirror is the reflection of the experience, it's not a reflection of who we are, though you can see who we are through the eyes often, then you're in this world, as I've said many times before, you're in this world having the experience, but you're not of this world in the point of, that you're perceiving the experience. And that can have a very powerful impact on not getting pulled into fear and stress and all the rest of it, which allows you to enter the control system's the stadium realm, which it wants everybody. That's why it's created a society which is there to generate maximum fear, maximum worry, maximum anxiety, maximum conflict. Is because they want us in a certain vibrational frequency range, because that's the one that they can lock into us through. We are consciousness. We are infinite consciousness. We are all that is, has been, and ever will be. What we're having at this time is an experience in a computer program called Planet Earth and humanity, right? That's what we're having. Now, whatever happens in the experience, we are still infinite consciousness, all that has been, is, and ever will be. But the question is, do you want to have an experience that's as deeply unpleasant as this one is going to be? Do you want your children and grandchildren to have that experience? You know what's positive? You know what's positive thing to focus on? This tyranny not completing what it wants to complete. Tell me something more positive than that at this time.